episode of Chatty Broads with Becca and Jess.
Well, broads, I'm hungover, and not just from that episode.
I think that
So hungover,
and she had 2 drinks. We were
both.
both out last night. It was so funny because we were going to a friend's thing, and like, I was gonna ask you if you were going, but then when you're like, it's like I don't know where your guys' friendship is at with them. So I was just sort of like,
I'm not super close to her.
Okay.
Love her, but like, no, not super close.
Right.
No, it would have been an awkward, like, did she invite you or no? I assumed you were going to be there.
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh no, maybe because of the kids. I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of rolled in last minute.
Yeah. No, I actually wasn't going to go either. And then in the middle of the day, I was like, you know what? I should just go. I haven't seen some of these people for a long time. So I was like, I'm just going to secure the babysitter and like text Bo that I'm going to see her later so that I have to show up, And it was great. I'm so glad I did.
Oh no, it was so fun. It was a full-blown like 2018 reunion. It was kind of like all the people that brought us together were there.
No,
which
it was
so funny.
Yeah, it was kind of the old social circle, which is it's fun. It's nice to see how people like grow and change too. Some of our friends have just like, they're just different now than they were 4 years ago. Shocking, right?
Everyone's just grown up and wonderful.
I know.
Well, it was also lovely, but what wasn't lovely was the fact that, now as I'm aging and I'm an ancient woman of almost 34, that 2 drinks, I'm like, are you kidding me?
I'll
never have a drink again.
2 weekends ago, Gray and I went to like a party, and I ate a lot of like pita chips and a slice of pizza and had probably, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 drinks over the course of the night. It was a proper party. Granted, I did do like, a mezcal cocktail and then like a glass of red wine, and then they were out of because they were out of the mezcal, so I'm like, I guess I'll have a glass of red wine. Then they were out of the red wine, so then I was like, I guess I'll have the sparkling white. Then they brought out tequila, so then like I'm mixing those things, so that's never really a good idea.
No, that's gonna be a rough go.
I was actually okay the next day, but I swear for the entire next week it was like I could feel. You ever feel that your face is swollen? Like it doesn't look swollen, but you feel yourself being like swollen.
There's a reason the sunglasses they'll come off. Don't worry, I won't be that obnoxious all the time. But my eyes, I woke up and I'm like, I couldn't open my eyes. They were so puffy.
Yes. That's the wine girlfriend. By the way, we've been having side conversations about candida stuff. That's what it'll do too. The wine in particular. I need to stop because I think that night too when we had the party, I think it was the wine that it was just like I was swollen for the next week. I was breaking out. Things were just like not right.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well,
so I know you're a wine girly.
I love wine.
The best thing you can do if you're drinking like and have issues with that kind of stuff is vodka because it's like the least inflammatory.
Okay, I can do
alcohol.
the vodka.
Yeah.
But what this taught me was that, you know what, bitch, you can't drink. You can't have 2 glasses at nighttime before a work day.
Apparently not.
You just can't do it.
I mean,
you can't do it.
I had 1 cocktail, and this morning I was just like woke up with a fat headache. I just didn't feel good. Why do we keep doing this?
I don't know. You know what I mean? I told myself I went into and I was like, you're going to be there for an hour because we got to podcast tomorrow. You got to be sharp. And then of course, get around the right people and you're like, well, now I'm chatting and having a good time and I can't stop myself.
I would have stayed out
self-control.
later if Gray was home because then in the morning I could have just been like, get up. But knowing that I was going to be the sole one in the morning waking up, I was like, I would have loved to stay out a couple more hours.
The single parent.
Okay. Yeah, the single parent. That's a single mom. I was like, okay, I got to go home. But
well, that's where we're at. So I'd like to apologize in advance if I'm fuzzy.
No.
But you know what? Sometimes
I feel your energy still.
Sometimes when I'm not feeling so hot with the hangover, the truth comes out.
Oh, I like that. No filter.
No filter. And you're going to get a filterless opinion from me today. about Logan.
Yeah, okay, let's get into this episode because I'm really curious what you have to say about this because I honestly don't have, here's a first, I don't have very many strong feelings from this episode in general.
You know what, I will say in general, I don't either. I felt, you know what it was?
This is a peaceful season. I know it's been hectic with both girls, but it's been a peaceful season.
Well, it's kind of, well, okay, so last episode
I interrupted you, though.
No, I'm saying last episode was BANANAS. Like the Hayden thing.
Yeah.
Calling them bitches was the most outrageous. That was the last week. Doesn't that feel like 100 years ago?
It really does.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Never in the history of this show did I ever think I'd see that on our screen. But in general, I think you're right. The whole dynamic of having two bachelorettes is so new, so that keeps it interesting. But these men are no drama.
Dude, when Logan got a rose, they all gave him hugs and fist bumps. They were like bummed because, it makes me insecure, but like, good for you, bro. I'm like, what is happening?
Can you imagine this on another season?
No.
Imagine Aaron and James.
No.
Aaron would have been like, I will not stand for this, man. I will not stand for this. If all of a sudden someone else I felt for the guys.
Yeah, totally.
When Logan rolls in,
I'd be annoyed. Yeah, for sure.
I'd be pissed off. I'd be like, I've been here on Gabby's side for numerous weeks, and now like Mario, Michael lose out on this opportunity. I'd be so annoyed.
Yeah.
No drama, low drama to the max with these men.
I think they're all like really mature. Some of them have some issues, but like they're all pretty like mature guys who know how to handle themselves in public.
Yes, which speaking of
manners.
Speaking of some drama and issues, we'll touch on this at the end of the episode, but there's some drama, some revelations about Nate.
Yeah, and Jess
feeling like I want to cry.
Jess texted me and was like, I don't know if he'll be Bachelor now, but then also, which we'll touch on this too, it's like Mike Fleiss is meanwhile tweeting like, don't worry, he's a great guy. Who's going to be the next Bachelor? It's like, oh.
Mike Fleiss is unhinged on Twitter right now. I mean, nothing's new. He
always does this. Yeah, and he always baits everyone, and he's just, I don't really know why he does it, to be honest, but he's a grade A troll. He's good at it.
The day or the day before this last episode was released, he was like, just FYI, some professional watched the screening of this and said it was like cinematic gold. And I'm like, this was actually a pretty low-key episode.
What? Dude, this guy, I swear, is I don't know what he's doing. He always does this. It's so bizarre.
Whenever I see him tweet, I just picture his call with you.
I'll never forget. I was just thinking that. Like, I'll never forget him on the boat in Hawaii. Like, calling me like, hey, we want to make you a star.
I see big things for you. I just picture him with a cigar. I see big things for you. Big things. They might call you Baby Becca, but you're gonna be a big star, Becca.
It's like I told you. He said we want to make you a part of this Bachelor family in a big, big way. Like I think you know what I mean. Like, I don't know what you mean.
Like, I really don't.
And now you guys have excommunicated me. What's that about? Did I tell you I almost got sued?
What? Can you talk about this?
Or no, okay. But I'll tell you off camera. It has to do with something that rhymes with Micmac.
All right, I'll move past this because I don't want to get you in trouble, but I will say I was going to ask you about that.
It was a close one. Could end up like
you're going to be a big star.
Could end up like Luke Parker. I wonder if they would sue me like that. I feel like they'd try to avoid it. I was very compliant.
I think that if...
Because actually, I really was being stupid, and I actually like didn't know I was like breaking rules.
I always forget that the rules are for life.
Yeah, well, I didn't realize that there are certain things that are like in perpetuity. So that's what that means, right? In perpetuity,
I think so.
Like perpetual perpetuity. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it sounds right. It sounds like a legal term.
We're lawyers. We're doctors. We're lawyers.
But yeah, I didn't realize that there are certain things that kind of like you last forever. So anyway, but I avoided that. The hot water.
Okay, well, I'm glad we don't need that happening.
Maybe one day if I get like really, really rich.
Sure.
I think the most they could sue you is like for $1 million. I gotta look at my contract.
I think
maybe there's like a cap on how much they could
when your show takes off with Eva Longoria and you're like a big star.
Yeah, what if I'm like, if I make like hundreds of millions of dollars one day, that's a lot of money.
What if you become an A-list actress?
Whoa. If I do,
and you're just rolling in cash, then you'll be like, sorry guys, it's all coming.
That could probably jeopardize some opportunities, right? If they're like, oh, she's literally going to reveal trade secrets and we'll.
If you were on a reality TV show, years ago, and then you became an A-list actress, I think that people would love it.
Yeah, but then they're like, no, not the people. I mean, the industry being like, oh, like Warner Brothers just sued her for $10 million.
True. You know, I do forget that ABC is a Disney affiliate, and you do not want to go against the family.
It's produced by Warner Brothers. Yeah. That's what The Bachelor is produced by. ABC is just the network. So yeah, Warner Brothers is like the one that would crack down on me. So I'd probably.
You're like, I'll never say a word.
I already did. Whoopsies. Okay. Anyway. All right.
So
yeah, we'll be talking about that.
We'll chat about that at the end. If you don't know what we're talking about, stay tuned.
You're gonna find out, baby.
I think everyone does at this point.
So yeah, let's start out with the Logan stuff because I think it works really well for us to do our back and forth, talk about Rachel, talk about Gabby, but Logan stuff was interspersed throughout, and obviously dealing with both women. So let's do that.
Logan was the episode. I mean, like even though we didn't hear him, he is the moment. Even though we didn't hear it repeated, but like when the episode started, all I could hear was his final statement from the episode before, just echoing, just fortune favors the bold.
Is that what he said?
Yeah. And then there was like war horns afterward on the show last episode. Very ominous.
I gotta just say this. The only strong opinion I have is I'm just getting like annoyed with him and kind of just like over him. I don't really want to see him on my screen anymore.
My strong, honest opinion about this is that like I don't think it's that big of a deal.
I don't care.
I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like,
and clearly they thought it was going to be a big deal with the guys and they're not taking the bait.
Right. But also, but I do think that a lot of the franchise viewers find it to be a big deal. There's lots of Logan anger around. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Saying this opinion it's going to be a hot one because everyone's saying like, what a shady guy he's being. To me, and I've said this before, don't get me wrong, Logan is red flag city to me.
Oh, like, really?
If I met him IRL and one of my friends was like, I'm starting to date him, I'd be like, there's an energy here.
Sure, an energy.
Sure. I'm like, there's red flags all over the place. But as far as like what we know and all we can go off is what we're seeing on the screen, is that I feel like in general, and we were waiting, right? I was like, I'm going to reserve my opinions about Logan depending on how he handles the situation. And he did.
I thought he did his best with Rachel.
I know. He did, and he didn't go to, remember I was like,
is he going to go to
Gabby first and test out the waters and see if she's going to have him back? He went to Rachel first.
No, and I know that I understand how she was feeling and like, I understand if she was just like, just stop. But I thought that honestly, he did a really decent job of like explaining himself and trying to be gracious.
1,000%. And if I was in Rachel's shoes, I would feel super annoyed too. But just again, as a viewer, I'm a little bit like, bless you. What seems clear to me is that Logan, at least on this show, bless you again, Logan, at least on this show, I feel like when he's in conversation with the Bachelorettes is really straightforward.
Yeah.
And even then in conversation with the men later is pretty blatant. So with the Rachel thing, I felt like he was pretty direct about everything. And he was like, I own the fact that this was shady and I'm so sorry, this is a sucky situation. And like, he didn't pull a Hayden where he's like trying to cover up and justify what happened.
Yeah.
And then when he went directly to Gabby, I felt like he kind of owned it too.
Yeah.
Where he was like, I totally understand that Rachel is upset about this, rightly so. And, there wasn't any of that like entitled attitude of like, I deserve this now that I said no.
I sacrificed
I feel like we would have seen numerous men in the past do a whole thing where it's like, I made this sacrifice, so Gabby better say yes.
Yeah, right.
He was just like, I get it. This is an opportunity for me. I'm going to take this risk. It sucks.
Yeah. And I think he actually likes Gabby. I think
he likes Gabby. And he said, he's like, I thought that I was going to be getting the rose from Gabby and I was surprised. So I don't know. I just feel like with all of that, is it a shitty situation? Yes. Do I think he was accepting roses from Rachel in a sneaky way?
No.
I don't think so, because I think all we can go off is the fact that he is now, when he's in conversation with the Bachelorettes, being really direct.
Yeah.
Which to me goes to show, if there's a guy that's willing to be open and honest in these conversations, you don't think he would have tried to have this conversation with Rachel sooner?
No,
or did production
thing.
Not allow it to happen?
I think that both women understand that. I really think they do. I know Rachel's annoyed, but I think kind of everyone, because no one's really said anything. I think even the guys, I think everyone sort of gets that he didn't have an opportunity to say anything sooner. Because it could have been a whole thing being like, well, you just accepted a rose from Rachel last week. What the fuck? But no one's bringing that up. So I think everyone gets that he literally couldn't talk to her.
That's all I'm getting off of that.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, when I'm looking at this whole thing and seeing people being like, screw Logan, I'm like, I get the fact that he's not your vibe. He's not my vibe either.
Yeah.
The more I see, the more I'm like, no thanks. But I do feel like the way he's been handling this, and also then you can tell his nervousness, his not wanting to hurt Rachel, his then being really direct with Gabby, not having expectations, just is a pretty heavy evidence to me that if he had the opportunity to speak to Rachel sooner, he would have. And he just was not allowed to.
Yeah, and he seems like he's really into Gabby, and I don't think, I agree. Also, I mean, I agree. I don't really like him. He's just not my vibe, but I think I could see myself being in the exact same position as him. Especially really early on, someone offers you a rose, and you're kind of like, I mean, I think in week 2 or whenever that was, when they split them up, or week 3, I think it was really dumb and bold of some people to say no. I think personally, I don't think I would do it in a conniving way, but I think I would just be like, well, I'm just going to write it out and see if I'm into this person. And then if I really was feeling like, man, I miss the other person, then I would probably do the same thing.
And that's the thing too. He said, and I do believe him when he said this, he said that he thought he was going to get the rose from Gabby, but when Rachel offered it, that he was like, yeah, there's a vibe. And I guess I'll pursue that. What we saw of Logan was him equally pursuing in the first 2 weeks Rachel and Gabby, making out with both of them, having conversations with both of them. So I believe when he says, when I accepted the rose at first, I was like, I thought Gabby was going to give it to me. I thought there was a little more of a vibe there. But what am I going to do? Be like, absolutely not, if there is something with Rachel.
Yeah.
And then the more he was around Rachel, the more he was thinking about Gabby. I mean,
it's understandable.
I don't know. I've just been like, again, when you look at the amount of time they've spent, I'm like, I don't know how many times in my single life I'd be at a bar and there'd be a group of a couple guys flirting. And at first I was kind of like, these two are cute. Yeah. And then, and then a few, an hour later, all of a sudden I'm like, that guy, they're both cute, but that one, he's not my vibe. I'm definitely into this one. If I was forced to choose.
And by the way, that's about the total time he's probably spent with them leading up to now. It was probably an hour and a half total.
Exactly.
Yeah, I totally get it. Also, I've noticed that a lot of the guys, I know at the beginning, there was, I think it was the only clips they had of the guys being like, maybe he's the most calculated one here or whatever. That's the worst we heard them say about him. And kind of the rest of it was just sort of them being insecure about adding another person. But I think that speaks for itself too. Of the men aren't really shitting on his character.
Yeah, they're not oh, we hate Logan. No. And again, I think if
they're just more annoyed he's there.
Yeah, I think if he would have been more of a unlikable character, they definitely would have taken advantage of that.
Yeah,
you know.
But I don't think he's trying to stir the pot. He's not coming in being like, "Hey boys, bet you didn't expect to see me." No, he came in like
this. He's like, "I totally get it. Yeah. I'm really sorry. This is really unfortunate. I know someone's might lose a rose if I am able to get one, and I'm sorry about that." I don't know. I felt like he came in.
He's listening to his heart.
He's listening to his heart, and I think it seems pretty obvious, like you said, that he's really into Gabby.
Yeah.
He seemed so happy once he was
so excited, with
Gabby.
Yeah.
And then the one guy who did make that comment about him being the most calculated guy there was Eric, which I have some thoughts about E-Rich after this episode.
Yeah.
But also this past weekend,
yes,
E-Rich was posting on his Instagram him and Logan like jamming out in the car together. Apparently they're like besties.
Oh, well.
So, which also makes me have thoughts about Logan, because the two of them to me are total red flags. That's the thing about this show. I'm trying to be a little more nuanced about, right? Where I'm like, did I think Logan was cute at the top? Sure. But the more I see of him, I'm like, it's still red flag dude to me. But I can't necessarily just go off that. I just can go off of what I'm actually seeing on the screen, and then knowing what production it has their hand in behind the scenes.
I know. Okay, I gotta say though, in the weeks up ahead, in that sneak peek,
okay,
what's happening?
Okay,
what's happening?
So maybe I'm about to vomit up my words. Maybe I'm about to be like, bitch, bite your tongue. Logan is no good. Because
I'm like, what is he getting kicked off for? Saying you have to leave? She's crying. There's
crying,
a situation.
And he's like, I'm so sorry. It's like, what?
Would you sleep with the handler or something? What is going on?
I mean, I don't know. Do you think, okay, what's like the only guess? Like if you could have one guess about what that confrontation is about. Like, is it a girlfriend? Is it?
No, I think it's... This is going to sound intense, but I think it's like some sort of like violence or like substance or like phone thing. Like, I think it's sort of like...
Wait.
Okay. They're all over the place. But like, I don't think it has to do with like any other girl or like any of the people. I think it's like violence. I think it's like...
Do you think they would show that though in the preview if there was violence?
No, I think like it could have been even something weird where he got like, I don't know. Sounds so dramatic, but I don't know. Maybe he like shoved someone who is part of like the camera crew or something like that, you know, like just like something like that.
Okay.
That wasn't like, I don't know, like some sort of like because he said a situation. So that makes me think like something sort of like not directly related to like what they're filming.
Okay.
Or like pushed a producer, you know, or like something like that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of thing. Or, maybe he got like blackout drunk and they couldn't find him or something like that. Like, something like that. Or it's like he's been sneaking a phone throughout and has been like poisoning the process by like chatting back and forth with like friends and like people like that. And he's
would they kick him off because of that this far in?
Maybe for drama and like the integrity of the show, you know, or something
what
like that.
What if he brought in his bag How to Win the Bachelor by Game of Roses?
That could you know what I mean?
How iconic would that be if they found that book in his bag and they're like,
who's the guy that had the playbook? Do you remember what his name is?
I don't remember. Michelle, the first time with Michelle. And he was like,
Yeah. All the handwritten notes. Yeah, I could just like see some sort of like outside-ish thing.
Okay.
That's not like directly related to the other guys or her.
Okay.
Because I do know, I just thought of like like a push or a shove. Because remember when Jordan fought with that one guy, they had to get them to leave like immediately. So it's sort of like if there's some sort of, threat to the safety of the people on the set.
I would assume it would have been though something then for sure that was off camera, because I feel like they would have shown that in the preview to get us all.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But and then you remember who's the guy who they found the phone? Or who went through the phone and snuck to the other room? I can't think of his name. Ivan. So he like was sneaking out.
Yes.
So like I'm kind of like feeling something like that.
Okay.
Or like, I don't know.
That makes sense. Yeah, because I'm literally that's the only thing. Unless.
Do you think they would show it if it was like drugs or something like that?
They're like a mysterious white powder.
Yeah. Do you think they would say like we found like illegal substances that he had on him? Like so
maybe he's just got like a heavy CBD and they're like, this is not okay, Logan. He's like, my back. And they're like, nope, not okay.
We're sailing on this. This is ocean law. Or what do they call it?
This is sea law, bitch.
Ocean law.
This is sea law. We're on the Virgin
Atlantic. Also, is Avon leaving? Like, what the fuck's happening?
Oh, no. It looks like a massive breakdown.
What has Tino done?
Tino,
what is going on?
Someone's calling Tino a baby back bitch.
What does that even mean? Why do people say that? I've heard other people on The Bachelor say that too. Like, what is
it's like
term?
A Bachelor slogan. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like
breaking Gabby's heart.
It looks like literally the world is crumbling in the next few episodes. Crumbling. But again, you know how these are edited. So I'm wondering, is it really one drama? Like, is it one person that's causing all of this? What if Logan all of a sudden is like, actually, I miss Rachel?
Yeah, he was caught sneaking into Rachel's side. Well, what if he was like caught sneaking into Rachel's side of the ship to like see his boys, to hang out with his friends?
That's so funny. He's like, I really miss the guys though. What if he literally was like, no, I miss Rachel.
I mean, that would be unbelievable.
Can you imagine?
He'd have to be a total idiot.
That would be, I would feel bad for the women, but that would be so funny. He does this big exit. There's all this drama. And then he's just like, you know what?
Actually, I've just missed, now that I'm away from her, I just really miss her.
There's something about her sparkly eyes, the way she just kind of let me go over to Gabby's side. And I just miss it. I really do.
I really want to know what it is. I can't, I don't know.
I'm on absolute pins and needles. Okay, before.
Oh no, we got to do a word from our
sponsors. Brats. Have you ever dreamed of learning a new art or skill from someone who has mastered said art or skill? Of course you have. Who wouldn't want to learn how to cook from Wolfgang Puck or learn the art of self-expression and authenticity from RuPaul? Sign me up, okay? Actually, I already did sign up, thanks to Masterclass. With Masterclass, you can learn from the world's best minds anytime, anywhere at your own pace. With over 100 classes from a range of world-class instructors, that thing you've always wanted to do is closer than you think.
Gray and I are watching Kris Jenner's class. Oh, I got the email notification for that and I was like, sign me up. Oh my God. Okay. So we all want to learn new subjects as an adult, but we all have reasons why we think we can't do it. Lack of time, lack of resources, whatever it may be. But Masterclass makes it as simple as possible. First of all, an annual membership costs $180 a year. That might sound like a lot, but it's not, because you have limitless access to their entire library of incredible classes. It's constantly being added. One of my favorite, another course that I absolutely love on Masterclass that I've plugged before is David Sedaris's like how to be a storyteller.
We talk about that all the time.
It's
on
incredible.
This podcast.
That course alone is worth the yearly membership, I swear. And the convenience factor. You can access Masterclass on your phone, your web, your smart TV. Each class is broken down into bite-sized sessions and they're just about 10 minutes long. So if that's all you got each day or every few days, then that's fine. I don't know. I really love Masterclass. They do it so well.
So well. And there's more. Each class is also supported by additional downloadable materials, recipes, and more, so you can skip ahead, go at your own pace, repeat lessons. The whole thing is meant to be customizable to give you the best learning experience possible. It's the most enjoyable learning experience I've had ever. Honestly, it's so good.
We highly recommend you check it out. Get unlimited access to every masterclass. And as a Chatty Broads listener, you get 15% off their annual membership. So go to masterclass.com/chatty. That's masterclass.com/chatty for 15% off Masterclass.
So your skin really is your best accessory, especially when you are taking really good care of it. And no, you don't need a million products to truly take care of your skin. You just need the right ones, but it can be tough to find the best products out there because if you've walked into a skincare shop lately, then maybe you've noticed there are about 1 million to choose from. That's why I leave it up to the experts at Osea. For 25 years, Osea has been putting in the work, finding out exactly what your skin needs to be the healthiest, most radiant version it can be.
I love their seaweed-infused body oil. It's incredible. After I get out of the shower, when I'm tanning at the beach, whatever it is, it leaves my skin looking really healthy and smooth and nourished. But it's not sticky or greasy, which is a issue that I've had with other body oils. The effects of the moisturizing last for days. I have recommended the seaweed body oil to so many of my friends. I love it. All of their products, though, are super high quality. All of my friends love them. It's a must-have.
I've actually been using the seaweed infused body oil on. I've been doing facial massages lately for myself for the jaw. And it's been so nice. I'm doing all my movements with that. Ooh,
and it's just like oil. I don't know. It's an oil. It's not oily.
Yes, it's perfect.
Pretty incredible.
Also, if you want to just jump right in, you can't go wrong with the Total Body Glow Trio Kit, which includes all of Osea's bestsellers like the body oil, the moisturizing body scrub, and a plant-based body brush. Everything you need to get that skin refreshed, nourished, and glowing.
Find your new skincare and body care favorites at OseaMalibu.com and get a special discount just for our listeners. You're going to get 10% off your first order site-wide with promo code Chatty10. You're going to get free samples with every order, and orders over $50 get free shipping. So go to OseaMalibu.com. That's OSEA Malibu.com, promo code Chatty10.
Okay, by the way, did you catch the cloaks that the women were wearing at the rose ceremony last week? I don't even know how I didn't bring this up.
Yeah, no, they were wearing them this week.
Gabby was wearing a version of one. The level.
That's true. Last week was like straight up Handmaid's Tale status.
Those cloaks, that velveteen.
I love that.
Inches thick.
Inches
thick, and they came in, and it was full like Galadriel from like Lord of the Rings. Like,
it totally was.
Is going on?
And also in the someone was calling it looked like a like American Warrior Ninja set.
Oh yeah,
or
the
something.
setup was just like what? It's like fully.
They did the rose ceremony there this time too. I'm like, what did they?
I guess it's just like an area of the boat. But
the game show
wing where they're also deciding to wear cloaks. Honestly, the aesthetics are really clashing. They're really clashing.
Yeah, they are. Still want to go on that boat though.
1870s and 2010 game show energy combined. Don't get it.
Odd.
Anywho.
Odd.
Okay, so let's talk.
There's nothing more to say about Logan, really. I don't know.
Well, okay, no. So I think that we have some conversational points here about Rachel's conversation with Gabby, and then the effects of Logan turning Rachel down and her not participating in the group date.
Sure. Yeah. So I thought it was just interesting that Rachel kind of was telling Gabby that she didn't think he was super trustworthy because of that experience. And I think it was one of those moments where Gabby's like, totally. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. She's kind of just like, yep. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I saw a lot of people really, for the first time in this season, unhappy with Gabby about the fact that she gave Logan a rose.
Okay.
I just don't agree.
I don't either.
I feel like they had a conversation that was, in my opinion, listen, I felt my heart was broken for Rachel. When Logan walked in, the bags under this poor woman's eyes, she looked so exhausted.
Oh my God. And I love Rachel. I really do. I always root for an underdog, and I know everyone loves Gabby, and I do too, but I can't help but love Rachel and all her it's kind of funny because I know
Pisces
Gabby
moments.
Yeah, I know
Love
Gabby was feeling kind of insecure about being the Bachelorette, but I almost feel sometimes Rachel's a little more of her own a misfit in her own kind of way, because she's just really emotional, really gets so worked up about everything and has a hard time kind of regulating, and I like her.
It's just I love her too. It's what this is, and again I know it's we're not going to pit them against each other, and apparently Gabby and Rachel both said that the only people pitting them against each other is the audience, that they didn't feel that way from production, which also a little bit of a company line. I'm like, they gave you different rose numbers to hand out. Okay, so let's be real about that. But with Rachel and Gabby, it's just two different people.
Yeah.
Who handle situations differently.
Yeah.
And so they're going to have different partners and different things are going to work. And I just feel like we talked about
did Rachel get one more? I mean, did Gabby get one more rose?
One more rose.
But is that because she didn't give one out at the group date?
No, she did give one out at the group date.
That wasn't the same week where she chose not to.
No, that was a few weeks ago. They have
You're sure that wasn't the same week?
Continuously given Gabby more roses.
Interesting. That doesn't seem right.
And it was interesting because at the end of the episode, the men even brought it up. They were like, did you see how many roses they each had? And they were like, yeah. Rachel had one less. And so they broke that fourth wall for a moment.
That's fucked up.
It's so fucked up.
They're fucking with her like so hard, and it really bothers me.
So that's the thing. And that's where, people, you're getting both sides, right? Where people are like, Rachel, enough tears. Gabby, you shouldn't have given it to Logan, blah, blah, blah. It's like, listen, these are two different people. Rachel is getting the producers found the Bachelorette who was more easily that they could break more easily. And they honed in on her.
I honestly feel like they just kind of threw Rachel in like for the drama. Which is just kind of sad, but
so when Logan,
but yeah, no, I don't fault Gabby for that at all, and I also don't fault Rachel for it either. Like, I just think that and I don't think that they held anything against each other either. It seemed to by the end of the episode, they both seemed over it.
Yeah, well, definitely Rachel gave a look to Logan when he walked away, so we don't know. Maybe the drama. Okay, here's another potential Logan drama issue. Maybe Rachel goes to Gabby and is just like, I just can't shake this feeling that like he's just not trustworthy. And then maybe Logan has some stern words with Rachel. He goes
off on her.
Yeah, and then Rachel's just like, this is what he did. And Gabby's like, you broke my heart, get out of here.
That's good. That's a really good theory.
Right? Maybe? Because when Rachel, obviously Logan went to Gabby right after he went to Rachel. Gabby was just squinting at him like, okay, yeah, okay. Just hearing him, absorbing his words. But you could tell that she was interested. She told him, yes, indeed, you were the one that could have gone either way.
Okay.
And I do like you, and I was interested in you. But it seems like maybe Gabby said okay to give Logan to Rachel because, I don't know, the amount of like hard yeses that maybe Gabby had on her side.
Yeah.
Or again, it was producers.
Yeah.
Put Logan on Rachel's side.
They knew he was maybe a little more leaning towards Gabby.
Yeah,
they're going to cultivate
him
a
and
situation.
said, who are you more into? And he said, yeah, I like them both, but probably Gabby. So like, put him on Rachel's side. But Gabby opens up about the fact that she has been interested in him.
Yes.
So then Gabby goes straight to Rachel.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was a conversation that was super healthy, but you also felt the layers in it.
Sure.
I appreciated the humanity of this conversation. Sure. It was dripping in humanity. This was a conversation between me and you.
Yeah.
Like if you and I were single. Do you know what I'm saying? It felt, I'm like, goddamn, I've been in this room before with a friend.
I know the situations too. Thinking of it right now, it's a little awkward.
I had this exact conversation about Evan back in the day with one of my best friends.
Oh, really?
Yes. Because we both liked Evan. And I kind of gabbied. I said, you know what? We both like him at the same time, but I'll take a little bit of a backseat and let you pursue it.
Yeah.
And she pursued Evan. Evan wasn't interested, and Evan liked me. And we had to have this like really fucking awkward conversation where you're like, I love you and support you and you do what you need to do. But the undertones suck, of course, because it's not fun to be rejected.
Yeah.
But you're also being a good friend and like, no, I want you to do what's going to make you happy.
Remember when that reminds me, remember when me and that one friend of ours both like the same guy, but then she like wasn't inviting me to stuff and like all that kind of thing.
Oh, I remember that.
Oh, that was a shitty situation.
This was before Grayston, by the way.
This is before Grayston. This is not like last year, but yeah.
That was like, like right when I met you.
Yeah, and I was just
you were in the middle of that when I met you.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm kind of not getting invited to anything
You're
anymore,
like, so I haven't been getting those texts anymore. They said it was fine. That's exactly what's happening with this Gabby and Rachel moment right now. If they were not stuck on a show together, Rachel maybe just wouldn't text Gabby as much anymore.
Yeah,
it'd be like,
real.
I don't have a problem with her, but like, not stoked.
Do I want to be? I don't really want to be around her right now.
It's like, I love her and I want, and in the pureness of their hearts and of your heart in these situations, you're like, no, I do want you to really be happy, but I don't really want to be around you right now.
I think what is different about this dynamic though, is I think that Rachel, I said this last week, I think that what makes it, why it's going to blow over is because I think Rachel's just also not that into Logan. He was like an afterthought. So I think for her, the hurt just comes from the rejection. It doesn't really come from her genuine interest in him, which would be a different story.
Even though, can you believe when he walked in and he right away said, I just want to let you know it was an honor to get a rose from you. And she's like, oh my God, it's so nice to hear you say that. That was so upsetting because Rachel had this moment, like, finally one of these fucking men is knocking on my door and taking initiative. I was like, oh God.
Yeah, that's a slap in the face. That's a slap in the face.
She did mention, though, to Gabby, she was like, well, of all times, though, Logan, to do it right before the group date, I was a little bit like, was he supposed to do it during the date?
I know.
That would have probably been more awkward.
I know.
In the middle of your date to be like, pull you aside and be like, by the way.
No. Or the night date. No, that would have been horrible. Okay, so I'm excited to talk about this part. Rachel cancels the group date. Let's talk about Tino. Then they have the evening portion of the date. Let's talk about Tino coming to talk to Rachel, because people on the internet had like some strong feelings about this, or people were just asking me like what I thought about it.
Yeah, first of all, how'd you feel about Rachel canceling the date? Because a lot of people were upset about that.
I mean, I get it, girl. You're she has been put through a lot by producers the last couple of weeks. Okay, come on, guys. She's feeling rejected. She's feeling insecure. She doesn't want to go do whatever fucking stupid whipped cream wrestling thing they're gonna do.
No,
it's like she's like, I don't want to deal with the bullshit right now. And she's still doing the night date. Everyone knows the day group date is not really about like when you still have that many
conversations.
People. No. So it doesn't really matter.
My Libra ass in this situation was like, I totally get why the men are frustrated, because it's like,
sure,
we've been stuck.
Sure.
We're finally out. And hometowns is like almost next week. So I'd like to get to know you before I bring you home. I don't know you.
I know.
But Rachel,
I would be so disappointed.
I'd be so disappointed if I was one of the guys. But Rachel is like, she made a comment about, I don't want them to see me again like this. Think about every group date she's walked into has been like a
emotional,
excuse me, boys, I am not okay with what's going on. Or I just had a really rough go.
Yeah.
Or he just said we were bitches. I mean, like, it's like, I wouldn't want to put that face forward again, because I'd be like, in real life, I can be fun.
No,
I promise.
I feel that 100% too. Right. And that's another insecure layer too, where you're like, oh my God, they're just going to think I'm just this unhinged, crazy person.
Yes.
Yeah. So I totally get that. And I don't know why people were, honestly, so when they go in the night portion of the date and Tino's like, I was upset and I was hurt because I wanted to spend the day with you. Mm-hmm. I felt like that was a real moment.
You're like, leave Tino?
Really, it's like, I didn't think that I've seen so many guys have this type of conversation before, where it becomes this really weird, selfish, self-absorbed thing where it's like, well, it takes two to tango, and this relationship is two-way street. You need to pursue me. It did not have that energy. He was saying that he was hurt, and I think made her, obviously, because he got the group date rose, right? He made her feel validated by being like, I want to spend time with you. I'm sad. I'm hurt that I didn't get to spend that time with you.
Yeah.
I think she felt intimacy through that.
She seemed to have a very positive reaction to it. It was like, oh, finally someone cares. Someone was upset that I wasn't showing up.
Totally. I think it made her feel valued, and it made her feel like he valued her enough to be bothered and to come to her with it.
I'm not getting from Tino this energy that's like, oh no, he's one of these guys who's going to make me feel shitty about whatever. I was getting the vibe from him that like, oh, he's bummed out.
Exactly. He seemed genuinely disappointed and like bothered.
He was like, we had this great date last week. We opened up and now you don't feel comfortable telling me that you had a hard time. He said, I want to be there for you in all versions. Like, let me have that opportunity.
And I thought it was really sweet and real too, how he was just like, I was looking forward to like making memories with her in this really cool place.
I know. I believe him.
Like that. I believe him. That was really genuine.
I know. I get that, like, he was being a little bit Like, and then again, we see the preview, so who knows if he fully spirals.
What? I know. What is happening? What?
Maybe he becomes a problematique about it.
I don't know.
But yeah, in this episode, I was like, I feel like
he likes
he's
her.
bummed out. He likes her. He had a great time with her last week.
Yeah.
We all know. Hey, we've all watched the show before. We all know what happens when you have a great one-on-one date. All of a sudden, you start having that achy feeling in your heart, having to watch what you think might be your person with other people. And so all of a sudden you're feeling a certain way. And he was like, oh my God, we had this moment and now I get to see her again. And I'm feeling butterflies and nervous. And now she's not showing up. What's going on? Mm-hmm. I mean, I get it.
Yeah, I get it too. I think also, like, to me, I thought it was a good sign because a lot of just something that I've been unpacking with people in my life is like resentment. It can be a really strong thing. And I felt like him addressing that and being like, I was really disappointed and hurt.
Communicative king.
That's really good. You know, that shows emotional maturity of him being like, he can recognize that he's feeling something within himself. And then he can verbalize without, you know, projecting blame onto someone else. Instead, he's just saying he's turning it around a positive thing.
It was clear that he was hurt.
He also brought it back to why he was hurt because he's like, because I miss you. I want to spend more time with you, which makes her feel secure.
And he didn't harp on it for a long time either.
No.
It wasn't like,
he was just bringing it up of like, I want to be honest with you and this is what I experienced.
Again, maybe we'll bite our tongue next week, but
in this moment, I thought it was a good moment.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was a very real moment and I appreciated it.
I felt like
she did too because he got the group date rose. Yeah,
and you know, I will say for Rachel at the end of her nighttime group date portion, she was like, "I'm good again, everybody. I'm fine." Tyler was spinning me around, telling me I'm a star. Zach might be cracking.
I know.
Zach is cracking, which
I saw Zach on this episode. And I'm like, wait, is that the same guy from like week one? It's
like,
interesting.
Who are you? Zach is cracking, which to me is just ABC 1, 2, 3 front runner energy. Like that's her guy.
Her final.
That's her final pick.
Okay, should we go to her date with Avon though? Because her date with Avon was awesome. Again, don't have a ton to say, but it was awesome.
Love him.
I love him opening up. I really like his energy. He's such a nice guy.
He gives me very much more open and more like less shy, but gives me very much Jason energy in the way that he seems very just calm and
of
present
himself.
And yes. And I felt like he was the perfect one-on-one for her to have after
this week,
the Logan fiasco.
Definitely. And like the thing with what his mom had made him and like maybe you just need it as a good luck charm. It was just all very sweet and it does not to me seem manufactured at all. None of his presence is manufactured and I just think he seems like a really grounded guy. Also,
him being her one-on-one after she's had numerous guys peace out, and when he told her his story about the fact that he was like, for me, what's really important is being loyal and consistent because where I felt trauma was someone coming in and out of my life. And so there's that connection there of being like, hey, if I'm going to be here, if I'm here, I mean it.
Yeah. And she also, remember guys, I noted, I think that she needs someone with really intense chemistry and it seems like that's, but then what's happening in the preview with Avon?
And he's a Scorpio king too. And she grabbed him and was like, ask me for more one-on-one dates. Did you see that part?
I missed that.
She gave him the rose at the dinner portion and they were having some heated smoochies. And then she like pulled away and was holding his face and she's like, make sure and ask me for more one-on-one dates. And like,
what does that mean?
I don't know. That was the affirmation of like, hey guy, I like you a lot.
But did you see the preview with him?
I know.
Some shit's going down.
Do you think it's him or do you think they're making it look like it's him?
I really don't know from that preview. I have no idea what's going on.
It was something like, after fantasy suites, you're going to do this?
I know. It really did seem like it was with him.
It did. Oh no.
I don't know, but I really like him.
I know. I'm going to be really like, I don't know. You know what? I'm going to make a bold statement now.
Start crying.
I'm going to make a bold statement now. Whatever happens, It's not Avon's fault, okay? Even if they're going to try to make it out to look like it's his fault. Can you imagine?
Clip that and stitch it in 3 weeks.
It doesn't matter. I don't know. He just seems like a really good guy.
I know. I like with her too. She seems really peaceful. Because even with Zach, it was kind of a little chaotic with them like crying and holding each other and like it's a little intense.
It was an emotional purge.
Yeah, exactly. But with Avon, I sense a peaceful energy about her. But it's also spicy. But I think that he helps quell her anxiety.
I agree. But a Scorpio Pisces, secure. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Those are both water signs, right?
God, Scorpio's the deep water.
Can't handle either of them.
That's my moon, baby.
I mean, I love Scorpio.
I love it. I love a Scorpio, but that's some deep waters, some still waters.
They're still on the surface, maybe, not underneath.
No, they're not. No, we're not.
You want to take a quick pause?
Yes, let's take a quick pause. Broads. Oh, okay. I've always been the kind of girl who doesn't need, but would really love a new outfit for every event.
Need one.
Yeah, I need one for every event I commit to, okay? It just feels right to have a new dress for every wedding or party or gala. Not that I attend many of those, except in my dreams. Invite her, please. Yeah, please invite me to all your galas. However, that is it's not only horrible for my wallet, but also for the environment if I'm getting a new outfit every single time. Well, with Nuuly, it's like a whole new world of options have been opened up to me.
I told Jess about Nuuly years ago. I've been preaching about it since I was pregnant with Frank in 2020 because I rented like pretty much all my maternity outfits through Nuuly. Nuuly, it's a subscription clothing rental service. You have access to thousands of styles from over 300 different brands for just $88 a month. And you get 6 pieces a month for $88 a month. And they have a range of sizes from petite to plus size, up to 5X and maternity, like I said. And also they have professional cleaning in their state-of-the-art laundering facility. So you don't have to worry about laundry. You just pack up your stuff when you're done and send it back in.
Yeah. And shipping is free.
Yeah. And if you find a piece you love, you can get the option to buy it at a discount, sometimes for up to 70% off.
Thanks to Nuuly, you can keep up with current trends without breaking the bank or cycling through fast fashion pieces constantly. Wear it when you want it and then let Nuuly take care of it after. You'll save money in the long run, and it allows you to keep your closet fresh and fun all year long, which I love. Go ahead and say yes to all these fabulous parties, weddings, maybe even a gala or two, because you're going to have plenty of great outfit options thanks to Nuuly.
Nuuly is already a great value at $88 a month for any 6 styles, but right now you can also get $10 off your first month of Nuuly when you sign up with code CHATTY10. Just go to NUULY.com. That's NUULY with 2 U's, and enter code CHATTY10 to sign up and get $10 off your first month. That's NUULY.com, code CHATTY10. Nuuly subscription clothing rental. Change your clothes whenever you want. By the way, guys, I did the math. That's only $13 per style a month for your first month.
Dang.
Anyway, all right.
Okay, so Avon, fantastic date.
Love him.
But
sweetie,
we'll see
what happens.
What's coming up. Jeez, there were so many.
Everyone looks like an asshole in this teaser, though.
The cliffhangers were just galore. So I'm like, I don't even know what to say except for what I saw in this episode. It's just too much to process.
Should we switch over to Gabby, though?
Let's talk Gabby.
Okay. Gabbers. Who said that?
Gabbers.
That guy that left a long ass time ago. Gabby Gabbers. I'm like,
was it Ryan?
Oh my God. Yes,
Ryan,
it was Ryan.
Boston Ryan. Gabbers. Gabby.
Oh my God. Thank goodness he's gone. Hate. So.
Loved. My Botox king. We love you.
So Gabby's group date, like they said for themselves after, they proved that there is no guy drama. They were just...
Zero.
Being total sweethearts.
Zero drama.
Playing with children.
Zero drama. Now, were there moments when the children came out and I was like, whose kids are these and why are they letting the men pick up the children?
Yeah,
because I'd be like, excuse me, that's my kid. Please do not touch them. Okay? In your soccer football game. But no, they were just having a great time. She looked so adorable. She looked gorge. My favorite moment, but of course, was when they were doing the fish slapping extravaganza. And all of a sudden, our sweet Jason was like, well, in America, we do it like this. And he leaned in and he got a kiss. And then in the ITMs, he was like, highlight of the date was when I got that kiss. He was so proud of himself.
He's so cute. I love him.
So cute.
Yeah.
Like, by the way, the entire episode, every time they'd flash to him, I was like, oh my God, he's so cute. Like, yeah. I'm like, he's so hot.
He got a lot more attractive after last week.
Oh, so much.
Yep. No, I agree. And okay. Anyway, yeah, no, I really like him.
Yes, he's so cute. And then,
but do you think he ends up with Gabby? Who do you think ends up with Gabby though?
Well, you know what? I'm starting to feel a little nervous.
That she's not going to end up with anybody?
I don't know what it is in my spirit, but it's feeling restless. It's starting to feel like it might be Eric and that they're not together anymore. I don't know what this feeling is that I feel deep inside of me. I can't shake it. I cannot shake her ending up with Eric. And I know.
What? Well, I mean, there was that clip too where I felt like she was talking about him, saying like, I'd never picture that it would work with somebody like you or something, but it does. I know that felt like it was about Eric, didn't it?
It feels like this is Eric, even though maybe she's talking about Jason. Like maybe she didn't expect to be with someone quiet.
Sure.
I mean, if it's not Jason, I will lose my goddamn mind because we know he can't be the Bachelor. Jason's way too shy to ever be the Bachelor.
He's kind of the only guy that's there. Well, I don't want her to end up with Nate now. No. After based on this information. Mm-hmm. Don't want her to end up with Eric. Mm-hmm. So that leaves Jason. Who else? Not Johnny. Who else? Who else is still there?
I did really like Johnny, but I don't think that that's going to work.
I have thoughts about that.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Is there anyone else?
I don't think. I mean, those are the front runners. Yeah.
I mean, we've got and of course, Logan.
Logan. There's no way it's going to be Logan.
Is that it? Who else is there still there? Anyone else? Is it only, are we down to 5 guys?
We have, let's see.
Logan, Nate, Jason, Johnny.
Spencer. It's not going to be Spencer.
Is it? Wait, sorry. Let's go over that again. Logan, Nate, Jason, Johnny, Spencer, Eric. And Eric. Okay, 6 guys. 6 guys. Holy cow. So that means 2 weeks is going to be hometowns, obviously. Okay. Oh, let's say who we think is going to be hometowns.
I think hometowns is going to be E-Rich.
Yes.
Nate.
Yes.
Jason.
Yes. And then who else is left? Johnny, Spencer, and who?
Logan.
Johnny, Spencer, and Logan.
Okay, I'm gonna do a wild card. I think she only brings 3 hometowns.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna say E-Rich, Jason, and Nate.
I'm gonna
say maybe Spencer, but I don't think it's gonna be Logan or Johnny from the previews. It looks like she's walking away from Johnny crying.
Yeah, but they're also like on some beach.
True. Maybe so, that's fantasy suites.
Johnny, Logan, Spencer. Yeah, hometowns. I think Johnny will be hometowns.
Okay, yeah. And maybe then she leaves him on fantasy suites, like she's walking away from him. There's some drama going on. Someone broke her heart. I could see it being Johnny breaking her heart, actually.
I don't think he's breaking her heart. I think he's just being... We'll get to that. So anyway, that group date, everyone's being super nice.
And night portion, surprise, surprise, Logan just walks on in. That's when we see Logan.
Yeah.
And everything was handled, and again, you just see the low drama because I think in past seasons, the men would have been upset saying, why didn't Gabby tell us this? Why did Logan come in and tell us this first? That the guys would have made it a drama.
Yeah.
But the way that I felt like they pulled her aside and talked to her about it afterwards was perfect. Like Mario kind of in a subtle way threw like some shade at Logan.
I'm sad he's gone.
I know. I really liked Mario a lot. And we didn't know anything of Michael.
I know. Poor Michael.
I know. Knew nothing of Michael. But he got far. So obviously there's something wonderful about him that we didn't get to see.
Some people are just sleepers and they just kind of get pushed along because they're neutral.
E-Rich talks to her about how he's bummed talking about the group date didn't feel natural today.
I know. And what's so funny is then after Nate got the group date rose, like E-Rich like really thought that he had it in the bag with the group date rose after that conversation, which I thought was strange.
Well,
maybe we weren't seeing something.
Maybe it's because E-Rich was like, I shared my feelings, so I deserve the group date rose. That's
right.
kind of
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, oh, that's what I'm saying. Like, I thought that was interesting that after that, then he's like, now I bared my soul. I'm surprised I didn't get the rose.
Well, it's another red flag moment for E-Rich, which we've had a few. And it's one of those things where I loved the meme. I forget who wrote it, or the tweet that someone posted that we reposted that was like, I know there's not anything definite about E-Rich, but I just don't trust his hair is full of secrets.
No, I feel this. Yes, been saying that from the jump.
So E-Rich then says, after Nate receives the rose, I don't need to be here for 8 more weeks just to see what happens.
What the fuck was that?
That's just a waste of my time.
No. This is the thing about that. I'm like,
do you think you're better than these guys?
Oh, wait, no,
E-Rich?
I'm sorry. I also think you're going to be here for 8 weeks. Like, you think you're just going to be figuring things out and you're just going to cruise on by through with just, like, give me a break, bro. What are you talking about?
It's the same energy as when he didn't get the first impression
I'm
rose.
pissed. I'm
fucking
pissed.
pissed.
I'm like, ew.
And now he doesn't get the rose after he opens up and shares a little bit. And he's like, I don't have time for this.
Entitled.
It's going to be a waste of my time to wait around.
No, like
so
we've said,
entitled.
he's so used to women just falling all over him.
With
and
his
he doesn't.
sexy little mullet.
Yeah, and
he's so hot. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, he is so hot. So it's like,
I know
the women, and he's got that energy that's very.
Yeah. It's like you want to impress him even if you hate him, you know? He's like that kind of guy.
Oh my God, Becca, stop it right now. That's the perfect definition of him.
Right?
Like, I don't like him, and I know if I ever saw him at a bar, I'd be desperately trying to impress him. And I'd be like, Jessica, stop.
I know.
Stop.
He has an effect on people.
Don't let this get to you. Yeah, he's got that big time.
So he doesn't like that he's not the center of attention, basically, is what's happening.
No.
Yeah. And then, Nate gets the group date rose, which she really likes Nate because she brought a little thing for his daughter and whatever.
That was so nice.
So sweet.
So thoughtful.
Yeah.
And I mean, let's be real. They have like some serious good energy together.
Yeah, they totally do.
And he's been very present for her.
Yeah.
Very...
I don't think being present for women is what he struggles with.
I was so head over heels for Nate. Damn it.
The words were always a little too strong for me, which I like when someone validates with words. I think that's great, but it felt very, you know what it is? I didn't pick it up then, but I pick it up now. He's just a little too good at saying the right thing, you know, where I'm like, this doesn't feel specific to Gabby. Like, you're just like really good at saying, you're like really good at embellishing like pretty generic things.
By the way, people who don't know what we're talking about Nate are so frustrated right now.
I know, sorry.
Like,
okay, let's get through this episode, then we can talk about it.
What are you all talking about?
All right, so that's the group date. Nate gets the group date rose. Yeah. And then let's talk about her date with Johnny.
Mm-hmm. So what were you said that you have thoughts
I'll get on
about
that. I'll get that. Well,
I had thoughts about Vincent the beer brewer with his curly little mustache. I'm like, hello, Vincent. Who is this man?
Like,
you can put me in a beer bath anytime, honey, even though it's going to for sure mess up my pH.
Definitely. I love, by the way, how they're also, over the past few years, they've decided that now this like weird bath thing and hitting each other with like these plants is now what we're going to do at least with wood tubs. We're going to do that at least once a year. I don't know how much they spent on this wood tub, but they need to get their money's worth apparently. And they're lugging it around.
It's a bachelor staple these days.
Yeah, they've got it in the... Yeah, under the plane. They're just bringing it with them everywhere.
Mike Fleiss probably keeps it in his house when it's off season.
Probably, maybe on his boat. But... yeah, I mean, look, I like Johnny.
They fired Chris Harrison. He's like, okay, fine, but I get the tub, right?
I get one of the tubs.
In the divorce, I get the tub, right?
Did they warm up that beer before they sat it? Ew, so gross. Everything about that is just gross. I don't like that.
But they looked like they were having so much fun.
They did.
Like,
they were having a good time.
I'm like, oh my goodness, this feels
silly.
so loose and fun. And if I was in Gabby's situation, having someone who I can laugh with and feel so free and comfortable with would be such a gift in this process that
totally,
you know, yields so much uncomfort or discomfort and stress.
I just felt like Johnny maturity isn't the right word. I sense he lacks a lot of emotional tools.
Sure.
And that's just kind of, I mean, it's not like it bothers me like, oh, I think he's a bad guy. To me, it's just clear he lacks a lot of emotional tools. He's very early on in his journey of self-awareness and healing and processing.
Which is totally fine.
It's fine. I don't think that I would not put my blessing on that relationship. Gabby's eons ahead of him in terms of like the stuff just from based on my vibes that I'm picking up from that conversation. She is so far ahead of him in terms of her like emotional journey. And so no, there's nothing wrong with that. But I've just seen way too many women, myself included, like get paired with guys that are just where you end up being this like you're holding their hand through everything. It's not the holding the hand thing that's a problem. It's more like you find yourself facilitating, like trying to help them all the time and taking on more of this role of like mom and caretaker emotionally. Yeah. And I really would suggest that women steer clear of that because it's a burden. And then you also get stuck with all the, I mean, of course, if you love someone, you love someone. But I just feel like there are better options for her that are farther along. Like Jason, he's going to therapy. He's so sweet and very forthcoming and knows how to talk about himself.
Yeah.
And so Johnny, I don't know. I've just been in relationships like that, and it just can get into a really unhealthy place where you are carrying a lot of the burden of the shit that they haven't processed. And so I just don't really like that. And it's always a red flag to me too when she said in it, she's like, I have a feeling like he hasn't talked to anybody like about this before. And that to me is always like, no, you know what? Don't go there.
That is very insightful. And I think you're probably spot on with that. Like, seems like a lovely guy. I think he did a good job at dinner, like opening up about his mental health struggles. But like, like he was saying too, he's like, maybe I should talk to somebody. It seems like it's something for sure that he's, like you said, he's starting to process, which is amazing. Yeah. But like you said, Gabby is very, in that inner work or that inner child working journey. And so Jason, I think, would definitely just be a better fit. Yeah,
I think it's easy to get trapped into the kind of like codependent state and feels good to help someone. But I think that sometimes people got to spend a little bit more time on that journey alone before entering into a dynamic with someone who's a little further along. So I like him. I thought it was really cool to hear him open up about things.
Seems like a sweet guy, fun guy.
And there are other things too where he's just like, I'm so insecure. And I'm like, I totally feel that.
Yes, which was so nice to honestly have a man on television talking about his depression, feeling super insecure. Like that was a moment that I really appreciated.
Yeah, that can just, it creates challenges in a relationship. For sure. And so, I just think there are guys that are much better suited to her personally and where she's at in life.
I agree. So. I bet I'm sure Johnny will crush it on Paradise.
Well, I kind of feel though like there is gonna like when she's saying I don't want to date like a boy, like I want a man.
Do you think
like
it's gonna be Johnny?
I kind of think it's about Johnny.
I hope
it could also be about Irish. I know. I think it could also be about Irish, but when she's like walking away, when she's like walking away, I felt like I'm having a vision.
Oh, she's getting a vision. It's coming through.
No, I don't know if it's a vision. I just sort of felt like Johnny is going to accidentally project something onto her in a state of feeling like insecure, and he's going to make it about her, and she's going to be like, I'm not dealing with this.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Okay, what I think is the beach scene is in insecurity, potentially him not being able to maybe handle, if he's maybe top 3, the dynamic of what's going on, and I'm feeling him removing himself.
Oh shit.
I'm seeing him going like, it's just, I don't think this is gonna work, like it's too much.
Oh, I can see that. I could see that.
I gotta go, and she's like heartbroken.
He totally reminds me of this ex-boyfriend I had, and this ex-boyfriend I had, it was like we had been together like 5 months, and we were like, it was very like whirlwindy, where it was just like, and we'd stay up talking all night, and it was just like we just had all these so many plans, and like and then we got in like 2 arguments, and like on our like 3rd fight, he was just like he like didn't call me for like 3 days after. Like I left his house and he just like would not answer my calls or anything for like 3 days. And then he called me like when I was at a parking lot and he broke up with me over the phone. It's just like, I can't do this. It's just not going to work.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of vibe.
For sure. I'm getting runner energy from Johnny. And I say this as someone who in my insecurity is a runner. When I am feeling low and insecure, I run. I'm getting that
and
vibe.
push away.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Sad.
Ooh, we'll see. We'll see. Lots of assumptions coming from us, but we'll find out. For sure. Okay, so basically after that, it's the cocktail party, which again, no drama ever. Logan switches sides. He shows up. All of the men are together. There's a moment where the guys are kind of like, well, you know, this is kind of an unfortunate situation because like now someone might lose a rose and we've all been here. And Logan's like, I want to just fully acknowledge that. And I'm really sorry if what I did made Rachel upset and sad. And then she didn't have the group date with you guys. And I want to take accountability. You're like, this is just so
not
not
just
drama.
communicating. It's so great.
So wild.
I actually thought though, I actually thought that she might send him home this week. And that would just be like, I kind of thought that it would be just the added drama. I sort of thought that maybe Mario was going to get the rose.
Yes, definitely was my thought. But then I will say when her and Logan sat down, when Gabby and Logan sat down a few times, but then specifically cocktail party, and he wanted her to slap him with the fish, which she was just nailing him when then fishy face and they were kissing. I was like, bleh.
No.
They have a lot of chemistry, which I was reminded of again from the first episode when we were like, oh, Logan's a front runner after seeing him.
True.
They do have,
I forgot
they
about
have
that.
a lot of fun together. Okay. They have a good back and forth. So
we'll see. Maybe he might be hometowns.
What if he's like top 2, dude? Can you imagine?
It could be.
I mean, it wouldn't actually. It would shock me, but on the flip side, there's a part of me that's like, well, that's what we said from like week 1. I remember saying like, oh, I think Logan will be top 2.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So 3 guys went home or 4?
So at the rose ceremony, Rachel sent home Meatball. The fall of the ball.
Meatball, Mario, Michael.
And then Gabby sent home Michael and Mario.
She just sent home 1. So we're balancing out. Mm-hmm. Who's still on Rachel's side? We got Tino, we got Avon, we got Zach, we got Tyler
and Ethan.
So she's only got 5.
She's only got 5.
So she's going to send home only 1 person next week.
I guess.
Yeah.
Unless they make her send home like 3, which I wouldn't be surprised at this point at production. You know what's going to happen? Rachel's going to have a good week.
Yeah, she's
going to have a good week. And then production's going to be like, we're taking away all of your men.
This was the good week. And then, okay.
Yeah, it's going to be a good week next week. And then, that's my guess. She's going to have a good week next week.
Yeah, I think so too.
And then the following week is going to be hellfire.
Of hometowns?
Yes.
Okay. Avon, Zach, Tino, Tyler, and...
Avon, Zach, Tino, Tyler, and Ethan.
Ethan. Ethan. Wow, talk about someone who's just also been flying with the radar. We haven't seen any time with him.
His TikToks have not kings.
I have to...
His TikToks are fire flames.
Okay, so her hometowns is easy. Ethan's going home.
Probably.
Yeah.
Unless something...
We haven't seen any of him.
We just haven't seen him.
But so that means her hometowns are going to be Tino, Avon, Tyler.
Again, unless they make her kick out like 3.
I honestly can't believe Tyler made it to hometowns. And to me, that's easy. Tyler's going home before Fantasy Suites.
Yeah, it's going to be Avon, Tino, and Zach. Those are her top 3 for sure.
Easy. Who's top 2? Well, we don't know what shit goes down.
I think Avon's out. I think it's Tino and Zach.
I think so too. Mm-hmm. And then Tino becomes the Bachelor.
And then Tino. Okay, I want to talk about the Bachelor in a second.
Or do you think that she's single?
I don't think she's single. She's not giving me single energy in her interviews.
Oh.
She's giving me like I'm happily in a relationship. I think she's with Zach.
Zach. I agree. I'd love her to be with Avon.
Me too. Zach just is like, I don't know.
I'm already gearing up. I'm excited for Tino for Bachelor. Unless he really botches it.
I mean, I don't know. Again, we're getting all these little hints from the preview. Maybe he just like fully spirals and then no one will want it.
What if it is like Tino and
Nate, like we predicted?
Well, yeah, maybe if they just fucking go with it. All right, let's talk about the Nate drama. So,
okay.
Basically,
okay.
First of all of this info is coming from Reality Steve. And I just want to give a shout out because he wrote in his blog post, he's like, from now on, I am only posting stuff if the person who is reporting it to me is going to come forward with their name and identity, and I'm basically presenting their information. I'm not going to summarize and say this anonymous source. So basically,
a lot of you probably know our thoughts on the history with Steve. We've been vocal about that.
Sure.
But in this specific article, it was screenshots, photos. It wasn't opinions.
I felt like that's like the most like responsible way you could go about doing this. And I think that I mean, granted, it's not the most important thing in the world, but I think it is good to kind of have this info out there if someone's going to become the Bachelor and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I think it's good to get the stories out there and stuff that's, you know, just shows maybe about someone's character. So basically, I mean, you can go read all the details, but basically he was playing two women at once. Like, and one of them, he omitted the fact for their 1.5 year long relationship that he had a child.
It was a relationship for 1.5 years, and it was, you know, and then I think it was like official for a year. And apparently she found out on the show from watching the show that he had a kid and that he had been married, which we didn't talk about they didn't address on the show. Was simultaneously seeing another person. Those two women
and the girls compared stories.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where, like, you know, I just adore Nate from the show. But, you know, I'll just say this, it does not look good.
No, I mean, there's stuff where it's like, there's stuff where it's like full on whining and dining, Valentine's Day dates and going on vacations and like all this stuff. And also like the thing of, she, you know, with the one girl who didn't know that he had a child, like she had, in the 1.5 years that they were together, she had only like stayed at his house one time. And it was just kind of like this kind of weird thing. There's a lot of secrets going on.
It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. I think there's going to be a lot of opinions in Bachelor Nation about this specific story. I've already heard some people being like, you know, coming super hard for Nate and be like, I don't even care about what he has to say. And then some people being like, I don't see the issue with this. Like, how do we know they were that serious? Can people not casually date? Like,
I will say this. The girls were like, she was like, we were going on like birthday vacations and he was flying home to meet my family.
Yeah.
And the other, like,
it looks serious. It looks serious.
There's a lot. Yeah. So
it looks serious and it does not look great. And I'm honest to God devastated. I am.
Because it kind of goes beyond cheating. It's like he was kind of, based on the information that you see, it was kind of like he was doing a double life kind of thing with these two girls.
Yeah, because he was exclusive. At least that's what. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not good.
And also one girl's getting all the info about the ex-wife and the child and all of that. And the other one is just this girl he's just has this other type of relationship where she has no idea about that. And they're going on vacation together on fancy dates.
I'll just say this. I am really hoping that Nate addresses this. I'm really hoping. So far, what we've gotten from Nate is a comment on someone's post. Someone was coming for him on his Instagram, which, again, it's one of those things. It's like, please just don't harass. You go, listen, this is not okay. But like,
just ignore them.
The radical, hateful messages.
Just ignore
stop.
them. Yeah.
But someone commented something, and then Nate...
just ignore the person you don't like. I mean, like, just block them if you don't want to see them on your timeline or whatever. But he then commented on one of the hate comments and said, there are two sides to every story. Sure. So, there are two sides to every story. The one girl's and the other girl.
Sure. But also, like, I'm like, okay, let's talk about it then.
Yeah.
If there are two sides to every story, let's address this.
The Bachelor's telling him not to say anything. They're going to hope it's going to blow over, and then they'll make The Bachelor in a few months.
1,000%. And I'm also curious too, because Nate is like really good friends with Dustin, and I think Pilot Pete. And I'm like, are they gonna talk about this? I also too, by the way, have been in many situations where I am so close with someone having no idea what they're doing in their private life.
Oh, of course.
So Let's be real.
Of course.
Let's be real.
Clearly, this woman dated him for a year and a half and didn't know he had a kid, so.
And to that point. But yeah, I really hope that he addresses this. I think the best bet for Nate, again, sure, maybe there are things that we are unaware of. Yeah. I always like to reserve certain things about people's private lives. But I really hope that he just like comes forward and and just, and maybe and acknowledges it. And because we all make fucking mistakes and but it was really
it's a recent
close.
One too.
It's recent.
Like leading up to the show. Yeah, I know you want to hold out hope for this one, but
I know.
Also it's not just one girl. It's like two girls who are like comparing like they have all the DM screenshots of like them kind of putting their comparing notes and dates and all that stuff. So.
Also,
guys, it's the age of the internet and the age of screenshots. You men really think you're going to get away with this?
Nate? Yeah, the age of the internet. You're not going to get away with stuff. So that's what's going on in that. While this simultaneously is happening, Mike Fleiss is posting furiously. And
he's dropping names of like who's going to be investigating this and that. I don't know what he's talking about.
Mike Fleiss is on his Twitter. And he says, so who should we pick as your next bachelor? So he asks this question, which, by the way, someone commented and said, Mike Johnson and Peter Krause should be the next bachelors. I feel like they honestly...
Not Peter Krause.
I love some of these new guys.
Yeah.
But the numbers are going down. If the Bachelor wants to hit it out of the park, they got to do a Mike. They got to do a Tyler Johnson. Sure. They got to pull back from the historical, from the ancient text. They have to bring back somebody who was a fan favorite.
I think Tino might make a fire season, even if it is by himself. I think that might be.
I think Tino would be an unbelievable Bachelor, but like he's only look at how many followers he has, and we're like 5 episodes in. This season is just not cutting it. Both of the women, I think, have under 700,000 or 600,000 followers. Like this season is not doing it. So if they want it, and Tyler C is now officially single again. So, they're just really hoping for that one. But someone said
pushing hard.
Mike Johnson, Peter Krause, and Game of Roses a few weeks ago posted a photo that Peter Krause posted of the lock that like him and Rachel had on one of their dates. And he randomly, Peter Krause, posted an Instagram story like, remember this, or from however many years ago with Rachel, And Game of Roses reposted it and they said, mark our words, next Bachelor.
No! Dude, he's also a loser, bro. He's not a nice guy. Yeah, no, Tino does not have any fucking followers at all.
No, go follow Tino. Go follow these men.
All right.
But okay, so Mike Fleiss tweets this out. So who do you want as our next Bachelor? And then an hour later goes, don't jump to conclusions about certain cast members based on mere allegations, as disturbing as they may be. I beg you to wait until all the facts come out before making any judgments. Okay, first of all, it's evident. I mean, it's like text messages and photos and all that.
Who are these people that he's saying are investigating?
Then Mike Fleiss goes, don't worry, Bachelor Nation, at Millsy, Robert Mills, and Martin Hilton, which you said you have no idea who this is, are conducting a thorough investigation. No stone will be left unturned. A few hours later, sure hope this is good news for #Bachelor Nation. According to Martin Hilton, who the fuck? The man in question is nothing like the guy these women have made him out to be.
So they found this out in 3 hours.
In a few hours, apparently they figured it all out.
They had hard-hitting investigation.
And then he said,
Martin Hilton's a producer of The Bachelor. Look at these guys. This is Martin Hilton and Mike Fleiss. These guys are making so much money off The Bachelor.
1 minute ago, Fleiss tweets, here at The Bachelorette, we believe that casting decisions should never be exploitive. There are more important things than ratings. What?
What are you talking about?
What?
Oh, they're probably talking about the 2 Bachelorettes. That's probably what he's talking about.
Take Twitter away from this man for a couple hours.
I'm blocking him.
He has been smoking his cigars, drinking in the sun a little too long. I'm blocking him?
Yeah, I don't even have Twitter, but I'm going to be blocking him.
Well, so that's the drama that's going on. We'll see what happens in the next couple weeks. Sure don't know. These previews look absolutely wild. Super looking forward to it. And join us on Tuesday. We have a very special guest, a healer.
Oh no, I'm trying to end this. I'm trying to end this episode right now so we can get started with her because I'm really looking forward to it.
Jessica Stone. We are extremely excited.
She's gonna read us to. What did they say? What did the kids say?
Read you to filth, baby. Read you to filth like the kids.
All right,
Broads.
Bye.
Chat soon. Okay, hold on. We know we just ended this.
Breaking news.
But as soon as we wrap this podcast, emergency message. Dustin just posted.
Mayday. How did you see this? Do you follow him or something?
No, Bachelors in the City posted this.
Okay.
Dustin said,
their podcast Instagram? Okay.
Yes. And Dustin said, can't really let this go on. I'll tell Nate's side of this story on Bachelors in the City podcast. Okay. So we'll have more to report on next week.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
All right.
There's definitely going to be more that's going to come out. I'm looking forward.
And here we go. All right. We'll really chat soon now, Ross.
That's it.